My name is Brad Reddick. I'm a farmer here in the county. Grew up on the farm, went to school here, went to Murray, got an ag degree. Actually, Bachelor's of Science is the degree. Ag Science is the area that I studied at Murray. Anyway, I guess you'd say I'm a farm manager. I'm managing about 1,100 acres. We have about 950 acres of row crop, and the rest of it is hay and pasture. We grow corn, wheat, soybeans, beef cattle, poultry. We have 4 poultry barns with Pilgrim's Pride. There's approximately 120,000 chicks in there right now. They're 2 days old. We'll keep those chicks and grow them, and they will come and get them at 35 days old, or 5 weeks. So we don't have any one flock for very. It seems like as soon as we turn around, that these are going out and new ones are coming in. But from a cash flow perspective, that's a good thing. We'll turn about 8. We call it turning. We'll have 8 new flocks a year, and so that provides quite a bit of cash flow. We have about 450 acres of beans, 450 acres of corn, and this year, or this winter, we've got about 375 acres of wheat in the row crop operation. 55 beef cows, raising calves to market. Sometimes I sell those calves at about 6 months of age, or sometimes I'll keep them a little longer and feed them. And like a calf that'll be born this March or April, about the longest I'll keep it is December. We usually market those calves by December of this year. Like I said, I have a degree from Murray State. I feel that going to college or going going to trade school will be very important. I still use a lot of the stuff that I learned in college on a day-to-day basis. Very certain that going to college got me my first job, which was not farming. Went to work right out of college at the poultry plant at Mayfield. I was a supervisor there. Managed 23 employees on the end of the plant where the chickens come in from the farm, which they call live hang, where we actually the chickens started the process of the slaughter plant. But I learned valuable skills there, managing employees. It's helped me to manage my time working on the farm, and also managing my 1 full-time employee. My experience from the farm and experience from college also helped me to move on at the poultry plant into plant maintenance. They called us multi-craft mechanics. We were had to at any given time work on an electric motor, or go weld something that was broken, or work on a machine in the plant that wasn't running correctly. So for 30 minutes I might be putting on a new motor, and then the next half hour I might have to go weld a machine. You never knew exactly what was going to break, so that's why they called us multi-craft mechanics. The experience that I got here in the shop and in FFA, and the experiences at Murray State were very beneficial in getting that job. I worked at the plant maintenance for 7 years, and then in '06 I was able to start full-time farming. Again, my educational training and on-the-job training at Pilgrim's helps me every day with the farming, with repairing machinery, making electrical repairs on the farm, welding, and so your education and then work experience we'll follow you throughout life. There's the beef cattle production, I feel, is being a good forage manager and being able to efficiently produce forage is more important than being a good animal scientist. It doesn't matter if I don't know every part of that cow, but I've got to know how to be able to feed her efficiently and to produce milk and meat. With the row crop operation, you have to be somewhat of a chemist, take soil tests, read those soil tests, understand what they're saying, and understand how all the different nutrients that's being reported are going to work with each other in the soil to produce a plant and reproduce grain. Mr. Vathans asked me earlier what my most favorite part of the operation is, and I would have to say it's the beef cattle operation, because you not only get to deal with the animals, but you also are producing forage, dealing with the plants. So it's kind of I guess a double occupation with the beef cattle, but I really enjoy working with them. She also asked financially what was the best enterprise, and that would have to be the poultry. With the production contract and being confined, you can control the environment and generally 100% of the time have a positive outcome. So it's the most financial stable. Anybody have any questions so far?
So your occupation, you've got a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week job, and it can be challenging and hard, but how do you feel every night when you go home and you take your boots off? You feel rewarded?
Yes. I never, when I started out in management, I was on day shift, so it wasn't that hard. I had to be at work at 7 o'clock, the day shift started at 7 o'clock, so I had to be there and ready to start managing at 7 a.m. And some days we get done at 3, and some days it's 4:30, just whatever the kill was for that day. We couldn't leave till all the chickens were gone. You can't leave them and say, "Oh, we'll get them tomorrow," or let night shift. You can't leave them for night shift. But I didn't regret going to work then as much. When I started doing the maintenance job, it was 12-hour shift at night, and then farming. I was still trying to farm at the same time during the day. So a lot of times I'd come in, get home from work at 5:30, and maybe take a short nap or eat a little something, and maybe go get on a tractor and bale hay till noon, and then get a 2 or 3 hour nap and go back in. So when I was doing that, I really wasn't enjoying life, because I was trying to do too much. I was trying to make a living and continue what I really loved. And so now it's you never have to force me to get up and go to work every morning.
Yeah. Right.
So I love my job.
I don't know if you know much about the industrial hemp stuff going on. Does that affect you in any way? I don't know, from a farmer standpoint. I don't know if
it could.
It could.
It could be a very, very viable cash crop.
Yeah.
It could be the next for the West Kentucky and the ag industry. It could be the next tobacco.
Yeah.
I haven't put a whole lot of thought into it. I know what I've seen on the news. I don't know what it's going to involve. It looks like there will have to be some machinery changes. I don't think I'm going to be able to handle it like I handle hay in round bales or something like that. But what I have read, I don't think it's going to be as big an issue as maybe the media is making it out to be, if it's handled correctly. And it could be a very good industry, but I don't know enough about it yet. But I can see where it can be. It looks like it can produce lots of pounds of material on small acreage. So that's why I say it could be the next tobacco for this area, since tobacco's kind of on its way out. Any other questions? Go ahead.
When you first started, like with the FFA, were you thinking of going into management and then becoming a farmer, or did you have a different view of what you're going to do with the rest of your life, or was it
No.
all set in stone in the beginning?
When I started high school, I knew that I wanted to be a farmer. Yeah. What the curveball in my early life was taking the job at the plant. 'Cause I really, when I was going through college and getting ready to graduate, I really didn't think that was even possible for me. But life circumstances changed my mind, primarily my wife. But looking back on that, I mean, I really never planned to do that, never really planned to do anything but farm. But looking back, I'm glad I had that experience because, like I said, it's really helped me in what I'm doing today. I wouldn't have near the electricity experience if I hadn't have gone to work at that plant, and wouldn't be able to do things myself. And anytime you can get hands-on experience with some kind of skill like that, you'll benefit from it the rest of your life. Whether it's just changing out a light socket in your house. It's like this morning on the national news, we were watching it, and they hired 12 different people, contractors, to come in to see about a water heater leaking. 6 of them were honest people and tightened up the valve that was leaking and fixed the leak. The other 6 wanted to charge them anywhere from $350 to $1,700 to change out a water heater, and all they needed to do was take a screwdriver and tighten the valve. So those type of skills, just being able to look at something like that, can benefit you the rest of your life.